Hey guys, this is a little video to help you out with protein synthesis, so you can follow along. The link of this video can be found, like I was saying, the link of this video can be found here, and it can be found on Moodle, so you can access it and follow along. So I'm going to start here just by saying, remember that protein synthesis. So you'll remember that protein synthesis is the process where your DNA code, so your DNA found in your chromosomes within the genes, has a code that codes for a specific protein. So what happens is your cell gets a message to make a specific protein and to make a certain quantity of it. Once the cell gets the message, the part of the DNA that is responsible for that protein will unwind or unzip itself. So if you look at it again, so the part of the DNA, the part of the DNA that will unzip itself is the one responsible for that protein. So next step is that the messenger RNA, and let me just get rid of this line here. So the messenger RNA will make a copy of that part of the DNA. So it'll make a copy of that one strand of the DNA. And remember, we said that it does this because DNA is too big of a molecule to move out of the nucleus itself. So it needs to stay in the nucleus, and in order for that code to be made available in the cytoplasm, so remember, this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus, and our cytoplasm is out here. Okay, and our cytoplasm is where the amino acids are. So in order for the protein to be made, a copy of that DNA has to exit the nucleus. So the mRNA will leave the nucleus, go into the cytoplasm, where it's going to start making that protein. Now, just a sec, sorry. Now, once in the cytoplasm, the mRNA is going to attach to the ribosome. So this is our ribosome right here. Okay. And what the ribosome does is it starts reading the code. So reading the code along the mRNA, and it does it 3 letters at a time. And this is what a codon is called. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that it reads it 3 nitrogen bases at a time. Meanwhile, the amino acids are floating around in the cytoplasm, waiting to be taken in order to start making the protein. And also the tRNA, so this is our tRNA right here. So our tRNA is floating around in the cytoplasm, and what it's doing is it has a specific code where it'll bind to a specific amino acid. So like it says here, this is where the amino acid will bind, and this is the code that corresponds to the code on the mRNA. So what's our next step? Let me just get rid of these markings here. So the next step is that the ribosome, the tRNA, so remember this is our tRNA, will grab the amino acid it needs. It'll attach to the ribosome. And you'll see here, and again you can use this, so it'll grab the next one, the next 3-letter code, it'll grab that amino acid and put it on the ribosome. Now look what happens in the next step. That those amino acids start attaching to each other, and they start forming their protein. Okay. Now this ATP that you see here, you may have remember this from 7th grade when you did photosynthesis or cellular respiration. That's just an energy source. It's what energy is called when it's used up or made in a cell. So don't worry too much about that. But you'll see, so the ribosome will continue to move to the next. We'll continue to move to the next code, and it'll keep adding those amino acids. Now here, just for the sake of making it quick, it skips, but you can see that it'll go through each 3-letter code. The tRNA here will pick up the corresponding amino acid. The amino acids will start attaching to each other until they form the protein that is needed. Now, how does the mRNA know when to stop? Well, there's particular codes, there's particular 3-letter codes that tell the ribosome or the mRNA to stop making the protein. And that's when they'll know how long the protein will be. Remember, a protein can be a couple of amino acids long, and it could be hundreds of amino acids long. So it depends what that message is that the cell got, what protein needs to be made, and what it's responsible for. So in our last slide here, you can see, and if you remember from that TED-Ed video with the dinosaur, the protein that you see right here that's been created, proteins usually, they'll fold up into various shapes depending on what its job is. So this is our protein that's been made, and it's going to go off to make whatever it needs to make, or whatever is required of the cell. I hope this helped a little bit. You can watch it again. Remember that the link to this can be found in Moodle. There's a couple of other links that may help you out with protein synthesis. So for your quiz, just a quick reminder here. So for your quiz, you need to know what DNA is, okay, where it's found, so what and where. Okay, you need to know what RNA is and the different types. So you need to know that there's tRNA and mRNA. Okay, you need to know the differences between DNA and RNA. Okay, you need to know the steps of protein synthesis, definitely. Okay, so already I've kind of given away what's on your quiz here. Okay, you'll definitely have a question on protein synthesis. I'm telling you right off the bat. Definitely have a question on DNA versus RNA. Okay, you definitely need to know the differences between the different types of RNA, and finally what DNA is, where it is. If I remember correctly, there are about 6 questions on the quiz. It's mostly just like short answers or one-word answers. So no multiple choice, no true or false. So really straightforward. Just study from your notes that I've given you. The notes are called the genetic code. Okay, they're attached to the notes on meiosis. And you can go through this video or the other videos I've given you, or the other animations that I've suggested. Everything is on Moodle. Have a look, and I'll see you on Thursday.